So thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I am here to present my strategies in small corneal perforations. So the first question is why perforations occur? There are a lot of etiological factors like infectious, maybe because of bacterial, fungal, or viral, or autoimmune, and trauma is again one of the common cause for perforations. So the purpose of management is to get a tectonic integrity to the globe and elimination of infection at the same time. So there are few management options for the same, like gluing of the that lesion. The cyanocolloid and fibrin glues are the options available. Page grafts can be done, or amniotic membrane in layers can be transplanted, can be there. Autologous tenons patch can be used, is again a popular method because we are using autologous tissue. Conjunctival flaps can be used, and sutures can also be used to seal perforations. So we'll discuss all these options one by one. So first one, what should we use and when to use? This is decided only by the following factors like size of the perforations, whether there is active infections are there or not, or availability of the donor tissue. So this is what is the role of glue now? So it replaces the need of sutures, and thus suture related complications should be avoided. It reduces surgical time because it is very quick to use. This gives better patient comfort and less inflammation. So the options in the glue is the cyanoacrylate glue, which is good for small perforation with leaks or melt. It polymerizes on coming in the wet surface. It is bacteriostatic also. It decreases overall enucleation rate to the eye and decreases need of tectonic keratoplasty, and OPK can be performed later as a selective procedure. So here is a video, a small video showing the technique. I usually prefer to debride the surrounding epithelium to get a better adherence of the glue. Now I apply the cyanoacrylate glue with the help of this 26 gauge needle itself in the given area. It should be limited, and a very thin layer should be formed. And another thing I do differently is I press it. I press it with the help of a spatula to make it more smoother to fit contact lens. Now I am making side port. It is again a tricky thing. I make two-step side port. First I make a tangential port, then I put some visco, and then I make it a rectangular port. While releasing the Synec, you should be very gentle. Otherwise, you may land up in the iridodialysis. So here I am performing posterior synechialysis also, and you can see the AC is well formed and there is no leak from the perforation wound. Thorough viscoelastic should be washed. Okay, I am using irrigation aspiration cannula here, hydrating the pores. I never prefer to use air in this. And as you can see, I placed a bandage contact lens here to avoid irritation to the lid. Second one is the fibrin glue, which is a biological and prepared by processing plasma. So it has few advantages, like it is better tolerated and non-toxic and hypoallergenic. It is antimicrobial property also, and enough tensile strength, though it is less than cyanoacrylate glue, but it is enough. But there is risk of transmission of blood-borne disease because it is processed by the plasma. So here I am trying to seal with the help of cyanoacrylate glue. I tried a different strategy here. First, I made a side port because AC is formed. Then I dissected out this wound in lamellar. I did a lamellar separation of this wound. So I use this 15 number blade here to make a lamella, and then I use fibrin glue both the components. and then I attach this dissected lamella again to the bed. So this gave me a sealed perforation. So this technique can be tried if you have this kind of clinical picture. You can dissect the wound lamellarly and then seal it again with the glue. So this will give you sealing of the wound. Again, the synechalysis should be performed with very caution, as I am performing here. Anterior as well as posterior synechalysis should be done, and anterior chamber should be washed thoroughly. These are the post-op pictures showing the well-formed anterior chamber here. So wound is hydrated, and you can see that there is no leaking. This is again a small perforation here because of the thinned out cornea, and SICS was performed in thinned out cornea, and there is a leaking from near the tunnel because of the thinning. So I use fibrin glue and amniotic membrane here to seal that perforation, and we could achieve a good sealing with use of this amniotic membrane in such scenario, because suture, we can't place suture, cornea is already thinned out. So here I am placing this amniotic membrane. So you can see in the post-op picture, there is well-formed anterior chamber with retained air bubble inside the anterior chamber. So what is the role of a page graft? When the perforation is slightly larger or active infection is there, tectonic and therapeutic purpose can be achieved simultaneously with no disfigurement. So here is a pre and post-op picture of a perforation. Here is a video where I am using the biopsy punch. You can see it's a 3 or 3.5 mm biopsy punch. I am punching the deceased cornea, making partial thickness groove and then making it full thickness using this side port. Now curved vanas is used to excise the defective cornea, peeling of the epithelium and all the debris membranes from the iris. This is punching of the donor button, and you can see we could achieve a good pupillary shape. Suturing to be done in Tenno nylon interrupted suture. AC is formed simultaneously so that your iris remain pushed back. So I usually use 8 sutures. These are sufficient, and synechalysis at the end. Okay, followed by wash. This is the technique stenciling why I am talked about. So this is, I prefer stenciling here. I mark the outline, then I scratch thin plastic film over it, and then I make bigger holes, bigger cuts outside that scratched outline. And then I place this sheet over the donor corneal button and mark with the ink. So you can see the print is there on the donor tissue. So I separated, I dissected it with the help of side port scissor followed by curved vanas scissor. I dissected out the donor button, and then I excised the deceased cornea along the markings which I made before, so that you can achieve a good sizing of the donor button. Okay, so you can place the donor button here and suture it as usual manner, interrupted Tenno nylon suture. AC should be formed simultaneously, and synechalysis has to be done anterior and posterior both. So this is the post-op picture of the same patient. Here I use the copy-paste technique, which was invented by Rasik Bihari Vajpayee et al. So I mark the outline, then I place this. This is actually a anterior lamella after a DSEK surgery. So I use this because my purpose is to get a tectonic integrity. So I use this anterior corneal button only, which is having no endothelium and posterior stroma. But the purpose is only to achieve tectonic integrity. So it is solved. Okay, so I resected out this diseased cornea, and then I cut along the marking the tissue with the help of this 15 number blade. Putting this graft in the place and secure with the tenonylon interrupted suture. So this is post-op picture. Okay, so this is another option, that is conjunctival flap. This can work well when you have no tissues available. Tenon's patch is again a modality which can be used in emergency with it is autologous tissue. That is the beauty of this tissue. So here is a video I took from the internet, because and this is again a technique popularized by Rasik Bihari Vajpayee et al. So here I am making a, so here this is the technique how we can use this Tenon's patch tuck inside the gutter made before, and using cyanoacrylate glue to secure it. Okay, sometimes suture can be used to secure it. Maybe combination of suture as well as glue can be used. Again, suture can be, this overlay suture. Very small video. I just finished. This is overlay suture.
Continue.
We can use.
We have enough time.
Okay. So this is a overlay suture, sometimes helpful in very small perforation with lamellar tears, especially. In the center, if the tear is in center, we usually try to avoid putting sutures in the center part. So I use this kind of overlay suture. They pierce the cornea from the periphery. So this can also helpful in if the tear is lamellar. Sometimes we can use this small piece of the tissue. This will helpful to avoid the disfigurement in cases of tissue loss. So I sutured the wound, but there is a small tissue loss is there. So I use this small piece in the manner showing here. I place it, incorporate in between the sutures and put this small piece. This will give me a secured wound as well as least disfigurement of the cornea. Okay, so this can be also a helpful technique to achieve a good secure wound. So the take-home message is there are so many options for management of perforation, but we should consider the size, infection, activity, and availability of the donor tissue. So glue is the best for a small perforation or less surgical time and avoid sutures. Page graft is the best for large perforation and active infections, solve therapeutic as well as tectonic purpose simultaneously. Thank you so much for patient listening.